Cody's computer. Okay, we're recording right now. Three people have in the room. Okay, let me go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and let you in, and we'll go ahead and admit all. Let's get this going. Okay, there we go. Great. Hmm. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me. Yeah. Okay, good, great. Okay, so we're recording, so we are good to go. We are recording. Okay, good. All right, so I forget where I was going with that story about coming into school, but the thing is, anyway, but yeah, I really did. I smashed something terrible. But anyway, but you can always recover from it. Oh, it's a computer. That's why. So that's why. If that smashed on the floor, we would have had really something to talk about. But in this case, I could share a horror story. Okay, so we got this, and what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about this project. But I wanted to back up just a minute, and what I wanted to do is, okay, we got everyone there, and what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about something I already showed you. Just going to show you this again, just to kind of make it clear as far as where we're going. Now, the final version, I'll show you what it looks like. Let me just kind of take the lights out real quick here, and I'm also going to take over your screens just so you guys can see it all over the place. And we're going to get into this. So I'm going to go here. Going to do this. Full screen. Okay. And so here's where I'm going to go right now. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to close out of this. And what I'm going to do is in Revit, I'm going to go ahead and go out here where I actually have some different items. And the item that I want right here is this one. And I actually have this one right here. And I have this one as well. I think it's actually right here. Yeah, the Winter project. Okay, this is the master Revit project right here. So we'll open this up. Now, this one right here is a complete version. And I don't know if I showed you guys this before, but this is the final version of this particular house. And so just to show what this looks like here, this is what okay, we'll go like that. So it looks like this. Now, this is pretty close to what I actually built. And so what we're going to be doing with this one, this is where we're going right here. So a few things I want to point out about it as we take a look at this. It's got brick on the bottom, like this, brick, and then it's got siding on the top. Okay, so you got brick on the bottom, siding at the top. And you'll notice right here, you can actually see the texture right there. If you zoom into it, you can see that. Other than that, I want to point out a couple other things. This whole porch section is something, it was a pain to do for me, so I didn't make you do it. I just gave you that. You can just kind of paste that on there. It's got some of the same elements we've seen before, but it's definitely got some different things. And if we go over here to level one, this is what it looks like. And there's a few things I want to point out about this level one. First of all, as you take a look at it right now, this is basically, you don't see a lot of walls. And the reason why it was a very open floor plan. A friend of mine who actually designed kitchens for living, he actually went ahead and said, "Hey, Tom, I hear you're building a house, and would you be interested in actually having me go ahead and do something for you?" So, well, that'd be great, Mark. And he did, and this is what he came up with. And this is essentially what this looks like. And if I go here and go to realistic, you could basically just kind of be here in the front room, and you could basically be sitting in a chair, and you look all the way, you could look all the way across the house. It was very, very open. Now, this right here is what is known as a wall, and up here, this is a wall opening. So the wall opening looks like this, and the wall opening, let me just go ahead and grab this. It's actually an entity that you put inside of a wall. And right here, the top offset is -1 foot. I'm going to make that -2 feet. So you can kind of like see it poke down a little bit there. So there is how that is. Now, you've all seen this before. And what's going on up here, I'm going to ask Derek, because he knows a bit about this. All right. Now, let me ask you guys a question here. All my people that are familiar with construction and so forth. All right. If you have a condition like this, where you're actually spanning like 16 feet, which is what it is right there. Any idea what would be inside there?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's right. And what's that stand for?
Laminated.
Yeah, exactly. A micro laminated. Okay, essentially a micro laminated beam, which essentially what that is when you're doing wood, okay, when you're doing wood construction, wood set construction, you can use 2x4, you use 2x6 construction. 2x4 is all you need. If you want it to be sturdier, 2x6, people are doing that right there. This big structure over here, it's all iron, it's all steel. You got that going on. And so actually the lateral elements that actually go across right here, well, those are going to be beams that go across right here. But in a house, you're not going to put steel in it. You will see steel sometimes, like our basement, it's all wood, but it's actually got a steel beam that goes across that kind of holds the middle part. But this particular house was all wood. We'll get into that later. But that's actually what you call right here. This is a micro land beam right up here, and that's it. That's what affords you support to actually span that margin of space. And what it is, a micro land beam or a triple land beam, typically what it does, they take a bunch of essentially long lengths of timber, and they basically just glue them all together. Essentially, so it's really, really strong. They just go across. They can handle a lot of weight. And the thing's about yay thick. Okay, so it goes across. So it's essentially like a steel beam is what that is. So you have those in houses, and that's what you have here. So this is what this looked like basically, and that's how that is. So this is one person I want to talk about. We're going to get into this. Is this right here, a wall opening? How do we do that? So we're going to look at that. And to do that, we're going to take a look at something and work on that. But for right now, I wanted to show you something else, and that was the way walls are constructed. So to show you this, I'm going to go out to my 3D view here, and I have these different views. So I'm going to grab this wall. Now I grab this wall. Here's something you can do in Revit. You can go to Revit, and you can go up here to Edit Type. Anytime you go in Edit Type, that means you can look at it at a detail level. So go to Edit Type. Now let me show you what's going on here. This is actually really interesting. I'm going to go to Preview here. When I go to Preview, it actually shows me the actual elements that are part of this. And so if I go here and go to my structure right here, if I go to Edit, if I go to Edit right here, it tells me right here that I've got brick common 3/4 of an inch. Now, when you talk about brick is never 3/4 of an inch thick. So what are we talking about here? What we're talking about here is like a brick veneer. It's actually something that we used. It was like a brick facing. And we did this because the house that we're going into, we were going to side the house and said, you can't do that. It has to be all brick. And we're thinking, well, that's going to totally blow the budget. But we talked it over and we figured out we could do this. So we did it and it looked great. So first of all, you have this right here, brick common right here. That's 3/4 of an inch right there. So that's a finish. Okay, so right here, this is a finish. The next thing we have is insulation. That actually probably shouldn't be finished, but I never updated it. But you got insulation. Insulation is 3/4 of an inch, which is this part right here, which is this blue foam insulation. So the brick actually snapped into it. We talked about this earlier. And then the next item here is plywood sheathing. So you got the plywood sheathing here, which is actually this right here. So that's plywood sheathing, and that's actually your that's outside. I just use 1 inch just to make it, that's much thicker than it would be, but I made plywood sheathing to do that. And then you have your stud, your softwood lumber. That's what that is. That's your stud. That's 3.5 inches right here. And then you have your gypsum wallboard on the inside. That's your sheetrock on the inside. So all those layers together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers put together, they all put together, and the total thickness is 6.5 inches. So I went with the 6.5 inches just because it was easier to calculate. So I just used that for you guys. In reality, you're going to have some 3/5/8, whatever you might have, but I just do that to round it up. So that is how the walls are done. Now let me show you something that's interesting about this, because when you put this together, you can also go over here and you can change this, and you can go and change this from to a section plan. So if you go to section plan here, if I zoom in, you got this, and then this shows you exactly what's going on. This is actually looking at a wall section right here. Remember we talked about wall sections, you got to identify these things. This is how you can know what they are. So right here, you got brick common, and that's highlighted in blue. If I go here to finish, it highlights the insulation. If I go here to substrate, it highlights this. And this is how you could actually put this together. And if, let's say, I want to put something else in here, like an air gap or something else, I could just add that. I could go, let's say I put it right here, and I did an insert, and I decided to put that in here. When I did this, I could change that from structure, and I can make a thermal air layer, and I can make it 1 inch. And we do that, and then this makes it 1 inch should be, not 1 foot, so 1 inch, like that. And then that goes ahead and makes it 7.5 inches. All right. So that's the kind of thing you can do. It's that easy to make a wall. And you can take any elements you want and make the wall any way that you need to. Any questions about this though? All right. Okay, I think it's pretty cool, but anyway, we'll leave that alone. We'll hit delete, get rid of that because we don't need it, and we'll hit cancel, just get out of there and hit cancel again. So that's how your walls go together. That's how your wall construction happens. So there's a wall opening, you see these things, and this is what we have going on. So that is where we're going here. So let me go back over here now. There's one more thing I want to do, and I want to go over how the actual project worked. And we talked about this before, but I just want to show it to you guys again, just so that it's clear. And let's go here. And the Winthrop slides. Okay, so I went through this before, but again, just to kind of go over this again. The first thing that we mentioned is we had to buy a field, which we did. And this field, they stake it out. That's the surveying that's done. And that's, those of you guys who are taking the survey class, that's the kind of thing you should do right there. After that, what you do after that, you would then go ahead, and this is what the actual this is what the actual structure looked like after the fact. That's, so this is what we're building. That's what we have, and that's where it's going to go. And then you've got that, and then you have the excavation, the fill. So we have this right here. This is when we began to build it, and this was, gosh, just about whatever that is. How many, 33 years ago? Hard to believe. But anyway, yes, this was November 11th, 1992. So it was right then, and we were into it right there. And the house was done in January. So pretty amazing. So we have all this. So we have all this excavation. So a lot of digging goes on. So that happened. And then after that, the result, this is the hole in the ground, and that's my friend Bernie. I mentioned him before, but again, Bernie Schwarzenegger is the kindest, amazing man. And the way I was able to do this, you may be saying, okay, wait, so you were just this young guy, and you were like, I was 31, and basically I didn't have the kind of money to build a house. But here's the thing, I had a friend who wanted to build a spec home. And a spec home, you know what that means? A spec home? Okay, what? Tell me.
It's just home you're trying to show off.
Yeah, it's a home you're trying to show off. So what you want to do is you want to build something to show like a proof of concept is what I can do. And he built his own house, but he was living in it. So he built this. And anyway, so we got into this whole thing here. So all this right here, oh gosh, I mentioned this before, but this is my son. He's now an architect in England right here. This guy's an amazing videographer right now. He knows everything about AI. The guy's amazing. This is Elizabeth. She's on our end. She's the one that planning now. And so she's in the suburb out there, So you have this right here now. And who's taking the soils class? Anyone taking the soils class? Okay, well then you probably learning about this stuff, your topsoil, your clay, and all that kind of stuff. So that's all stuff you have to consider. And you also have to consider your fill. All the stuff has to go in right if it's going to stay, if it's going to go where it's supposed to. Also, you're staking things off. You have your chalk lines and your lines that you actually take and you stretch out so that you build it where it's supposed to be because it has to be a certain distance away from the road and so forth to be approved. Okay, so then after this, you've got this going on. There's again my two daughters. This one right here, the little one in the red, that's Katie. She actually lives in Irondequoit, about 3 miles away. She's got three kids of her own. And then this is actually what you see. Now, what you notice, and I bring this up again, I know I talked about this early on in the class, but it might need a little more now. What's going on right here is this right here is what we built. I mentioned to you before, this is a permanent wood foundation. The only concrete in this structure was at the very bottom. That was all that there was. These are walls. This is actually pressure treated lumber around the exterior. And that is what you did. This is what you did. They're really quite amazing. So this is what we put together, and it really increased the ability to get the job done quickly because you didn't have to wait for a second crew to come in. So we had this going on. Now we're up to November, right? November the 16th. We've already got now think about that. November 11th, there was nothing. November 16th, you've got your walls and your concrete's in already. That's not going to happen if you're doing concrete. This is a fast thing because you can get your carpentry crew just to come in and do all this. Wall transport, mentioned this before. These are what the walls look like. That's me, at a much younger version of me. And what we're doing right now is this is Eric Howes. He's a chemist at DuPont. This is Kirk. He's a passionist. This is my friend Jeff. He actually just retired, so these are all guys. You got a transit scope over here, and this is the kind of thing you have. But taking these walls, they weighed so much. Because have you ever worked with deck material or anything like that, like pressure treated material? Anyone hauling that stuff? Okay, it's heavy, right? This is double that weight. Okay, so it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just because it's double saturated because it's going to be in the earth. So that's what's going on there. So we're hauling the stuff in. We're bringing this in. And so we did all this. It was kind of like Amish barn raising when we did this, which was, pretty cool. So that's what we did. We put all those in. Now, this is Bernie's house. This was not my house. The wall placement, this is what you do. Same kind of a thing. You're actually going in here and they're going in here and you're taking them and putting upright. And then they get fastened at the bottom right here. And that's what's going on in this scene. Okay, dewatering in walls, you always have to make sure that your site is dewatered. In this case, we were doing exactly that. You see this right here. This is now we're up to December the 7th right now. We've already got the basements in, the floor for the first floor is in here. We got the walls going up. This is, not even a month in. All right, since excavation. So we have this. You see that there's some trusses and things like this that we have in place. And that is how fast this can go. Then you have this right here. This is actually the superstructure. This is the same day, and this is going up right now. Again, December the 7th. And yeah, you see you got your deck right here. Your deck is right there, and then you have it going up in place right here, and you have all this. This is just regular uh, uh, um, the just regular plywood sheathing right there. Okay, then you got this right here. There's the superstructure, another shot of that, also on December 7th. And then this is the built exterior frame. That's what it looked like. And this is actually right here. We are now up to that's January the 8th. Okay, so we're not even 2 months after the other. Yeah, that's right. We're not even 2 months after. So this is what it looked like. I got the roof on, got the windows in and so forth, got the porch on, all that went in. And then we move on to here. You got both stories here. This is another view right there. And then we go over here to and this is the interior. And the interior right here looked like this. This is the same day. And take a look at this. You've actually got all this in place. You don't have you do have right here, you can see the electrical has been run. Electrical has been run right through here. The wiring, the cabling is going right through the walls there. So that has to happen. And then at this point, also you have a box on the wall here. So this all went in. Also after this, the HVAC, I don't think that was in yet. And then you also had the plumbing had to go in. So all that's what took the most time, was waiting for those folks to come and do their thing. This is the material I talked about, the blue styrofoam and the brick veneer. So this is going on. And you also have a layer of like a Tyvek that goes around it. And now this is January 29th. Again, we're not even 3 months after the fact. And then the face brick looks like this. And this is, going right in here. This is what it looked like. So you actually put in this adhesive, you snap the bricks into place into these grooves. And then later on, I mentioned to you what we did there. And that was to actually fill in those grooves, I had to mix up mortar in a grout bag, a big, literally it was a chef's cake decorating bag. You fill it right there and you squeeze on this thing. I stand on the ladder all the way to the top and just kind of like do all those joints right there. Strike it with a pipe. And then I had to clean up with muriatic acid, which would roll down the glove and get on your arm and burn you. So I did that whole house. Yes, I did. And so anyway, so that's what we did. And that's something that we did. And we sold it for a grand profit a few years later, but we weren't sure if we're going to live there our whole lives, but we did that. And that's it. So that's how you that's how you build a structure like that. Now, this is what it looks like here. Now, what I did here is, because the whole thought of the permanent wood foundation was a little too sketchy, because people haven't heard of that. It's like, why are we doing this? And you're probably never going to see that right here. But what we do have is you've got concrete right here. And this is what I decided to use because it's more conventional. So that's what we're going to work on here. Mike, you okay? I try not to put students to sleep. It's okay. Yeah, question.
Out of curiosity, how much did it cost you to build this? It would have been like almost 30 years ago.
Okay, 30 years ago. That's a good question. Take a guess. Okay, 60?
Yeah, I think somewhere around there. I think I was like 75.
Actually, 74,500. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. The price is right. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't go over, so that's good. Yeah, and the thing is, and the lot cost 20,000. So the lot cost 20K, which is ridiculous for the year, but it was a highly sought after area. And so we decided, great school district and stuff. And you've heard what you look for when you're buying a house, right? The three most important things. Location, location, location. Okay, and that we had all three. And so we sold this house. We were in this house for a few years, and after we paid everything off, we walked out after we settled and everything, and I think, $20 in my pocket. That was it, and then we still had to buy toilet paper holders and stuff like that, because that was not part of it. Bernie had gone as far as he could, so we couldn't ask him anymore. So we had to go and do this. So all that had to happen afterwards. Anyway, we sold it. We had it built. I think we took occupancy, I want to say, in what did that say? It said 92 on there, didn't it? I think it was 92. And the thing is, so that was 92. So we moved into 92. And then let me take a look real quickly, make sure I've got that right. Did it say 93?
Yeah, you finished it.
Okay, 93. Okay, good. Okay, so we got there in 93 and we actually moved out in 98. So we're there for 5.5 years. And we sold it 5.5 years later. We sold it for 159. Okay, and so we did that and we sold for 159,000. And actually at the time, it didn't appraise for 159, it appraised for 157. And the guy said, I don't care, I'll give you 2,000, let's just get this deal done. So we did that and they covered us and got that all done. Anyway, the house is, I don't know, it's worth something like 350 or something now, I don't know. But it's great, it's in a great neighborhood. So that is, but I'll tell you what, it's when you're doing this kind of stuff, it's pretty nerve-wracking. And that's even with somebody that you really trust, like Bernie. Bernie took a lot of things. Like he actually put money out, he put a bond out in this kind of thing with the city, which, I didn't know anything about this stuff, but he just did that. Most builders aren't going to do that. They're not going to expose themselves at all, but Bernie did. He was that kind of guy. And he got his money out and it worked out. He didn't make much money, but there was a spec home. And we went ahead and we did that. And love that house. It's great. And later on, I put a pool in the backyard. I put the pool in all by myself. That was a pain. Above ground pool, had to do it all, did all the digging, did everything else, So yeah, I had a transcope, and it had to be level within 1/32 of an inch over the whole 32 feet. That tolerance is nuts, okay, but you had to, or it would put too much tension on the stanchions and so forth. So anyway, that's the house that Tommy built. And anyway, so when I did this, there was a few things that kind of went along with it. What we're going to do tonight is this is what we're going to make here. So as we're going to do this, we're going to kind of like go through it step by step and kind of understand how this process went. So you have this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of start and just kind of begin to build the first bits of it. And just so you guys understand where we're going to get you kind of established, and we're going to take it from there. And again, I do have a template. So this looks like this. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you the construction documents. So the construction documents are right here. And I printed these up today because every time I go through these, I find something else I don't like. And I just keep on, refining it. And it keeps on getting better every class. So you've got the latest and greatest right here. And this right here is, again, I've made, it's a simplified set of construction documents, but it's the basics. You get things, going here. I can't tell you how often the worst is when you fall asleep and watch something. That's the worst. You don't recover from that one. And there's going to be some discussion about it. And it was my first always always. Yeah. Showing good self-discipline. Really. So you take a look at this right now. It's pretty simple. And this one, I am definitely going to require you to do a full set of construction documents just because did anyone get the black and white one? One of these came up, one of these I print, oh, I've got it. So we're okay there. Okay, so this right here is the first thing right here, we're going to do what we did before. And you can dress this up as much as you want to. If you want to put a yard under it, if you want to put trees around that landscaping, you can do that. I'm not requiring it, but that's something if you want to do it because you know how to do it, you can. Let's take a look at the first floor. And when you take a look at the first floor, all the dimensions are there. I've also posted this online. You can get the PDF online. You can take a look at it, zoom in as close. If you're not sure about what the dimensions are, someone can do that. So it's all here. So I want these dimensions to be on the final. I want you to basically do this yourself. So basically, you're going to notice that dimensions are to the outside edges or inside edges of the walls. They are not to the center line. Okay, that's one thing you want to take notice of. And as you take a look at this right now, there are numbers on the windows. There are window tags. There's also door tags. So those are all there. And the lines you see right there, that's actually that's a wood floor. So that's just I left that on there just to kind of orient it right there. So that is what it is. Also notice at the bottom left, it tells us that on that title, it's level 1 3/8 of an inch equals a foot is the size. Okay, so we have that. So that's A101. Let's turn the page. The next one is A101G. That's for the garage. This is also the first floor. This is the garage. Now, this one right here, I want to point out a couple things that might not be quite so obvious. And that is, if you take a look at this right now, it tells you the dimensions, again, outside wall to outside wall. And then so it's 23 by 24, the garage is. Then notice that you've got a 3-foot offset. The house to the garage, a 3-foot offset from the front to the actual garage. And it's also 3 feet in the back. So that's the way that is. You also see a door at the rear. That's set off 3 feet. And then you see the actual garage door. And then there's a rectangle there. That rectangle is a little stoop. The rectangle is a little stoop to step down into it. So you can make that on concrete. You guys know how to do that. You just basically use your floor, your 12-inch concrete floor, and you make a step going down. So you'll see how to do that. Then let's go to the next page, A102. A102, we take a look at this, and this actually is exactly what it's very close to what we had on our second floor. It's almost exact. And you've got these things. You got 3 bedrooms. You got your the closets. You have a linen closet at the end of the hall. You see a linen closet. You've got your stairs coming up on the left. You've got the large bathroom. That's where the kids went. You know, the kids had their bathroom, and then we had our own bathroom too. Now notice our bathroom. That's the bathroom towards the bottom, which would be the front of the house. It's got a shower there. So we had a shower there, toilet, the other. It was great. And then there's a closet right there too, which is right over the stairs. You see that right there. So it's using that space. Let's go to A103. A103. This one shows us right now. This is the basement. As I mentioned, the basement was like living space because what you could do is because the walls were actually all wood, you could actually simply put drywall in them. It was very warm in our basement. It was great. Now this, of course, we're drawing with concrete, but it actually has windows. They were big windows on the side that let in light. And then I've got a washer, dryer, and a utility sink there. And you can see the stairs over to the left. There was also a sump pump down towards the lower left, but we're not going to worry about that detail. So that is all there. Now the next one are the elevations. Now all these should populate pretty much with no problem. So these should populate pretty well. So when you do this, you might have to adjust them a little bit, but these should go into position no problem. The next one is 105, A105. And this one right here has the dimensions. Now notice here that you've got a 30-foot dimension. Now again, the 30-foot dimension is what we're actually going to be using basically for the perimeter of the structure of the building we're doing right here. And then you're going to notice that it says 3 feet. Well, what's that 3 feet? The 3 feet dimension at the top left. Well, that explains it. I have an arrow there, a leader, wall foundation, bearing footing, 36 by 12. So that's essentially 3 feet wide by 12 inches. And that's what that is. So that's what we're looking at right there. Let's see here. Yeah, and then the rest is just the floor. Good. Okay. Now the next one. There is a wall section. Now the wall section here is, remember I talked about the different layers that are actually in your wall. Well, this actually breaks it down, and they're different because remember the first floor has brick on the bottom, the second floor has siding. So they're 2 different walls. So we're going to be doing the first floor with one wall, the second floor with another one, but they're the same perimeter. They're the same thing. And the very last thing is the schedules, and these should populate no problem. And that is it. That's the project. Okay, so this project right here, when you're done, this is going to be essentially what we call the deliverable. This is actually what we would actually go ahead and we'd want to actually give this to a customer. Now, when this is all done, what we're going to do with this is I'm going to have the print shop actually print these up at 24 by 36 format. So when you're done with this, you are actually going to walk out of here with a roll of Revit generated prints that will impress anybody that might be looking to hire you. How do I know this? Because I hire people, you know. So you walk out of here, and that's going to be a nice thing. So you want to spend some time with this. You want to make it look good. You want to make it set apart. If you guys all live in the same place, you'll have the same roll of prints. You know, you want to have your stand out. So that's just something to be aware of. So that's what you're going to be doing here. Any questions so far? Okay, all right. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to do one thing. And I want to show you one thing, and that is the wall opening. All right, so let's do this right now. I'm going to give you back your screens, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go here, and I'm going to stop showing this. And this is what we're going to do right now. What I want to do is I want to go over here in Revit, And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this out. I'll come back in there in a minute. And say, do you want to save changes? Yes, we'll say yes. And let's do this. Let's go over and we're going to go to, you should all still have in your downloads a template that I want to use right now. So click on new, click on models new, and then go to browse. And then go to browse, which is over here. And then when you go to browse, you want to go to your desktop, which is over here. Your desktop's over on the left. There's a shortcut there to your desktop. So go there. And then you want to go to your downloads. Now, in your downloads, you should have a template in here. And the one I guess we're looking for right now, let's go ahead and try to find this. Yeah, let's go ahead and just grab this. Let's look at the custom garage plan master. You guys all see that? You guys seeing that?
Where is it?
It's in your downloads. Yep. Should be there. Is anyone not seeing that? That's a yes. You guys all seeing it? Okay, so you got this. You click on here and click open. And when you click on open, it's going to go ahead and show you this, and you can click OK. And we're just going to start with this, and it's going to give you a message saying your model is being upgraded. So we'll do that. Okay, and it should look like this. Does everybody have this? I guess I can look and find out. All right, let me just look and find out because what we're going to do now is I want to show you a couple things here. Yep, still crunching, still crunching. Yeah, this thing's a little bit slow, so I just waiting for everyone to get there. Okay. Okay. Now, if it's not in your downloads, we can get it from another place.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. It should supposed to be in there, but it's not in there.
No, let me take a look here. All right, let me just jump in here, see if I can't find that here. Because yeah, I'm making an assumption here, and it may not be here. Sometimes, okay, should be here. All right, and this is the one you want. Okay, that one's not there, is it? Okay. Um, okay, then what we'll do is real quickly, what we'll do here is we'll go do you have your okay, yeah.
Go into the Google Chrome.
Okay, it's in Chrome. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so go to Chrome. Perfect. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're just going to go ahead and we'll go to here, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go to the custom garage. Okay, and we'll go here, and we're just going to download the template, which is here. So we'll grab this, and that'll get you squared away. So we'll do that, and now this will be in your downloads. And so now we go here, and we'll go to browse. We'll try that again, and we'll go to our desktop and go to our downloads and custom garage plan. There we are. We'll hit open. Okay, and then once we get there, I just want to show you how to make this work. Few things I want to point out here because there's a lot of stuff happening here. But this one I want to point out because it's one of those kind of things that's pretty it's just going to be very valuable. Okay, so let's do this, everybody. Let's go ahead and let's go. Let me get out of here. I'll let you have your screen back. All right, now let's do this, everybody. We'll go here, and we're going to go over here to wall. So click. Let me just drop this down. Is that better or worse? Having the lights off. Better. What's that?
It's great.
Is it great? Okay, good. Let's click this drop down for wall, and let's go to wall architectural. And over here, this says basic wall, garage wall. That's what we want. So we're going to use that. So just that's already the default wall. So just zoom in a little bit because I want you to see something. You're going to click your mouse and bring it up. And as you're pulling it up, you should be seeing, as you look at it, there's more lines on the left than on the right. That tells you that's the outside. So let's just go ahead and make a rectangle. Don't worry about the size right now. Just make a rectangle, just kind of filling the area between these between those elevation markers. And when you're done, just press your escape key to get done with it. And that's all we need to do. So just go ahead and do that, and we'll adjust the size of it when you have that done. So just go ahead and draw a rectangle. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Okay, I'm not seeing that anybody's getting that done. Is this working for you guys or no? Is it? Okay, because this is not yeah, it's really slow right here. Not really showing what's going on. So, okay, all right. See if I can't, drop that down, try that again, see if it's refreshed. Okay. All right. I guess you guys all have that. So let's just go ahead and advance. Okay. So now that we've done this, what we're going to do is we're going to change the dimensions of this just so it's something very easy to work with. So start by clicking on the top wall. When you click on the top wall, we can define the size by using this over here. And right now, we talked about the fact that we can actually go ahead and use the exterior wall. So to do this, what you would do is right here, this is the interior. So if I want to move this witness line, I click on this little blue circle once. And when I click it once, it goes to the outside of the wall. And that's what we want it to do. So click on this one, and they both go to the outside. Now, my says this is 13 feet, 6 inches. What I want to do is I'm just going to start with a very basic garage. I'm just going to go ahead and make this 25 feet. So make that 25 feet, and that should go ahead and do that. Okay, and then once that goes ahead and changes, we're going to go ahead and click on this one, and we're going to make this one also 25. So it's 25 feet by 25 feet. And I'm sorry, what? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't do that, did I? Okay, so yeah, go to the outside. Sorry about that. So go to the outside and then make it 25. Yeah, I should have done that. So 25. So it's a 25 by 25-foot square. And if you need to move it, you can just do that. Just select it all and just use your arrow keys and just adjust it so it's in the center of your elevation markers. Just go ahead and do that. And then once you've got that, your 3D view is up here at the little Monopoly house. So click on that and let's just take a look at it and make sure that we are all where we should be. So I'm just going to watch and see. Yeah, this thing is really slow. Are you guys with me at all? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. As you can see on my screen, it looks like I've only got one person who's with me. Okay, so I'm not sure why that is, but it is what it is. Okay, looks like you're all there. So we're looking at it in 3D. So it's 25 feet by 25 feet, exterior to exterior, and I think we're all set. Okay, and okay, so once we got that, again, you always want to make sure that your walls are the correct size before you move on. Let's go back to level one. Let's go back to level one. Now, again, to just emphasize this right now, let me just kind of show this again. If I click on this wall here, I see this. This is what we call a temporary dimension. If it's blue, it's temporary. So if I go ahead and click on this, I watch what happens here. If I click on this once, it goes to center. I click on it again, it goes the inside. I click on it again, it goes the outside. So you have your choice, inside, outside, or center of the wall. So I'll go this again, center of the wall, inside, then outside. And once I have the dimension lines both going to the outside, I make this 25 feet. So I can just go ahead and click on that, make it 25 feet. And the same is done here. So I can do the same thing. I click on this, center, inside, outside, and then I make it 25 feet. Okay, so I have that. Now that we've done that, we want to put we're going to put an interior wall in, and then we're going to put a wall opening in it. So let me show you how this works here. We're going to go to wall, and I'm going to go to wall architectural. Now what I want is an interior wall, so I have to change my wall type. So I'm going to click this drop down here, and I'm going to go down here, and I actually have I don't have a 4.5-inch wall. I've got a garage interior, 5-inch partition right here. So here's the garage interior. It's a 5-inch partition wall. Do you guys see that? Okay, so scroll down. Yes, you want garage interior? So once you see garage interior, click on that, and we're going to go ahead and just going to find you find the midpoint by just hovering your cursor around the midpoint of the wall. And when a triangle shows up, you've got it. Just click, drag it straight across, and click again just like that. Okay, we all have that? Okay, now, um, I don't want to leave anybody in the dust here, but just make sure you're all with me. All right. So once we've got that, let's go ahead and take a look at that in 3D. We take a look at it in 3D. This is what it looks like so far. Now, at this point right now, our choices to actually be able to go from one of these areas of the structure to the other would be you could either put in doors or you could put in a wall opening. Now, first of all, I'm going to click on this wall. And when I click on this wall, can you guys see what the height is? 9 feet. See that? So it's a 9-foot wall. So we've got that. Now, what we're going to do now, I'm going to go to level 1. I'm going to show you something here. What I want to do is I want to put I want to turn this into a wall opening. This is actually kind of cool here. So check this out here. Do you guys see this? This is called wall opening. And it cuts a rectangular opening in a straight or a curved wall. So you can create an opening such as a view that shows the surface of the wall to cut. So look what's happening right now. They're doing this on a curved wall, and you can actually go ahead and do that. So that's what the little movie shows. So watch this. I click on wall, and and then the prompt tells me to select a wall to create a rectangular opening. Well, that's going to be this. So click on this wall here. So click on this wall here. And then the next thing it says is enter starting point of rectangular opening. So now what you can do is just make a rectangle here. Just make a rectangle from here, roughly to here. Don't worry about the size. Just go ahead and put a rectangle in there and then press your escape key. And it makes an opening in the wall. Is that working for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once it's done that, take a look at it in 3D and look what you got there. Did that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is what you would do to make a wall opening. Okay, now at that point, you can then adjust it. Go back to level 1 here. And if I click on this, I can click on this actually. And I guess I'll click on this. When I click on this, I can actually then change these. Like I can change this from 10 feet and whatever, and I'll go ahead and just make that. I'll just make it 11 feet. So I make that 11 feet. And then over on this side, it says 6 foot. Okay, now these are not quite even. So I want them to be. So I'm going to go ahead and 6'6", 113. All right, that's something. All right, so I'll make this, let's try 6'6". We'll just go ahead and do that. And then this is 6'6.5" will probably work. So 6'6.5". Yeah, so 6'6.5" on either side. So we got that. So now that's perfectly centered. 11 feet, and you got 6'6.5" on either side. And that is how you put that together. Let's once you've done that, and you've worked with these a little bit, and just change the number. This one again, 6'6.5", 6'6.5", and this one's 11, and that should come out pretty much perfectly. Let's go back to the 3D view. Now, when you go back to the 3D view, one of the things that we've learned as we're working with Revit is that Revit is like real construction, meaning that it's paying attention to where your levels are, where your levels start, what their base is, and how high they go. So this one right here, if you click on this right now, click on this wall, and it tells you that right now you got this finished face exterior, you got this level 1, and it goes up unconnected to 9 feet. Now, if I click on the wall opening, then the wall opening shows up over here. And this tells me this is 8 feet, and that's its top offset. It's 8 feet off the ground. You got level 1 here. Now, what I could do is I could change the top offset from being 8 feet to being 7 feet. And if I make it 7 feet, you've got a little bit more of a thickness there. So when I make it 7 feet, it comes down a little bit further. So it's still plenty of room for people to walk through. You know, we don't have too many 7-foot people, but you can go ahead and make that work. And you could go ahead and pull this up or down. And you could also do a couple things to go ahead and do this. Like if you change with the wall opening here, if I change the base offset to 1 foot, watch what happens. If you make the base offset, it gives you a wall opening, but now you're going to trip over it every time you go through there. So if you see that, you just have to adjust that. So you click on the wall opening again, and you change that so it's not, it doesn't have a base offset of 1 foot, but the base offset 0, and that brings the opening right down to the bottom. Does that make sense? What, you like that there?
Yeah, it's saying such a massive window.
Yes, yes, yes. And the thing is, so, and that's exactly it. You know, this is where it gets interesting because you can actually do that kind of a thing. Or let's say it's a wall that you actually like. It's something that you do want to have an open thing. Like here in our climate, you don't really have much open area to the outside because you got to. Well, November 1st, you pretty much are not going to be outside very much. That's how that works around here. November 1st to probably May 1st, you're going to be inside. So, but if you're in California, if you're in Guatemala, if you're in Mexico, you very well may have a huge opening in the wall. Like, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but the old Roman construction and so forth, they're totally open, in Rome and so forth. And in Greece, they just had openings just like this. So these wall openings are something we don't know too much about, but they know about it quite a bit in other places right now. So anyway, having a wall just going at the outside is actually pretty common when you have, warmer climates, but doesn't work too well here. But so that's what a wall opening is. So when we do the wall opening in our winter plan, you're just going to make sure you tweak that so that it actually kind of adjusts itself the right way. Any questions about that at all? Making sense? Okay. Well, then let's go over here. We're going to start this, and we're going to go ahead and go here. So let's go ahead and let's just save this as wall opening. Go to File, Save As, and save it as, just somewhere on your desktop, and just call it wall opening, just because it's something we worked with. And I'm kind of always an advocate of saving these things just so that you have the ability to go back and work with them again so you know what's going on. Okay, so that's what we did there. Let's go ahead and close out. Let's go to File, let's go to Close, and let's go ahead. Now we're going to get started on our project. Now, so to do this, we go back out here to, let me close all these. I can close all these. Okay, and then over here, we're going to go to Brightspace. And in Brightspace, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go out here to our project. And out here in our project, this is the Winthrop project. And in the Winthrop project, what we're going to do, it's actually down towards the bottom. And yeah, and so here, you'll notice that I've got a Winthrop House 2025 template. Yes, this is new. I just got it done this afternoon. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to click on this, and we're going to download it. Download this thing here. So download that, and it goes ahead, and now we're going to go. Now what we don't want to do is double click on this open file. We don't want to do that, because if we do that, we'll have to save it as a template, and then we'll have to make a project using it as a template. So we're going to do it this way instead. So we'll go here and back to Revit. Now we're going to go to New. We go to New, and then we're going to browse. Going to browse out to our desktop, and on your desktop, you've got downloads right around here. And then we're going to go to Winthrop Project Fall 2025. There is our template right there. And if you open this up, you can kind of open these up and see this. It's an Honest Revit template. And we're going to open that up. So when we do this, we're going to click OK. All right, now, here we have it. Now, it starts you on level 1. I want to explain a couple things here, because when you're working in Revit, what is happening right now? Does anyone, we've talked about this before, does anyone know what this is right here? Crop region, talked about that before? Okay, so this actually crops your work. Now, for what we're doing right now, I've actually got this right here, and I actually turned the crop region off, meaning you can go ahead and do this. But I left this here as a guide for you to know where to put it. And I'll show you why. So this is where we're going to start. But let me show you something before we go any further. First of all, let's go over here and let's scroll down, and let's go to our east elevation. Go down to your elevations, your building elevations, and go to east, and double click on here. And I left a sink here. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. All right, get rid of that sink. Okay, so get rid of that. Now over here, what you've got going on is this is your, you got your basement, which is -9 feet. You got your level 1. You got your level 2, which is +9 feet, and then 18 feet. So that's what you got. Level 1 is 0 feet, 0 inches. And level 1 represents the top surface of floor 1. So what that means is that is that. Okay, so if you're walking your house and you were to, where is your shoe touching the spurt surface? That is the line exactly that level 1 is. That's how that works. So that's what we're reckoning. So after that, the same is true for level 2. Wherever your foot would be, that actual finish, it's actually called a finished floor, AFF. If you've ever seen that, by the way, have you ever seen that notation? If you ever see that notation, AFF, it means above finished floor. So that's what that is. So this is right here. And so this would be level 2 is actually right here. And that's actually the level of the finished floor, and the level 3. So that's what those are. Okay, so now to take a look at this, as we take a look at our project right here, and we kind of put it all together, what we're going to do is go back to level one, which is right here. And now we want to do is we're looking at this and everything's ready to go. Now you're going to notice I left your elevation markers here, here, and here, and I left this on. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my project just so my finished project, you guys can see it. And then what I'm going to do is just going to work with this a little bit. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go over here. This is the master project right here. So as we go into this, do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my level one. Now, when I go to my level one, I'm going to zoom out a little bit and you're going to notice that I also have this turned on right here. You see that? That is what I'm looking at. But because I put this together just this afternoon, and I put it on my sheet, you're going to notice that I'm only seeing part of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to hide my crop region. Well, and I hide the crop region, looks like that. But if I turn off the crop, do not crop view, it shows me the garage. So this is what it looks like. So the crop region is right here. And we're going to put this part of the first floor plan in here. And this is going to overhang a little bit. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, so that's how it's going to go. So this is going to be right here. And you can adjust this a little bit. But if we use this and kind of put our objects in there, it's going to just make life little easier for us. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. Now, so let's start this right now. We're going to go here, and this is what it looks like. So first of all, go ahead and grab your first floor plan, and let's kind of start this right now. So I'm going to turn. Do you guys need the lights on for this? Probably. Do you need the lights on? You think? Kind of, sort of. You don't know? Okay, okay. All right. If you guys are good with that, then if you're good, I'm good. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, what I did here is you're going to notice that I made this 30 feet. I made it 30 feet from left to right, and I made it 30 feet from top to bottom. I made this about as straightforward as I could make it. And also notice that what we used here is this brick exterior wall. So I have a brick exterior wall, and it's exterior face to exterior face. So it's 30 feet by 30 feet, outside to outside. So let's go ahead and start with that. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to my wall, and I have the basic wall, interior wall right here. So we got to change that. We're going to change this right now to brick exterior wall. So you have to change your wall type to brick exterior wall, which is right here. So go here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right up here. I think it goes in this direction. So I click there, I'm going to look at it. Yeah, and that's correct. So I'm going to go over here. Now, I don't have to get it exactly, but I'm going to go over here. And I can do it this way because I got the finished face exterior on. So I can just go over 30 feet, and I can just go ahead and I could click or I could type in 30. And then I go straight down, type in 30, straight to the left, type in 30, and then pull it straight up like this and stop it right there. And that is how it should look. So you basically start it inside of here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to my default 3D view, and it's going to look like that, roughly like that. And by the way, you want to hit your home view to kind of get it to kind of swing out the way it should look. So click on this right there. This is your home view. And then we're going to go back over here to this level one here, and this is what we have. So this is what it looks like. Now, before we go any further, a couple things I want to point out. You're able to thin or thicken your lines with this tool right here. I've talked about this, and I forget if I've stressed this because I've taught so much Revit the last couple of weeks to other people. I think I mentioned this to you, but this actually is really important. So if you click on that, if you zoom into here, see how thick the lines are? But if I click on this, see this? So when you're working with Revit, always remember that you can do this. It's an important thing. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So you want to leave that, you want to leave that thin. So we zoom out, we have that. Now, what I want to do now is I want to verify that my dimensions are what they should. So let me show you a shortcut. So if I click on this right here, if I click on this here, you'll notice that this says 28 feet 11. And it's like, oh man, I screwed up. I didn't do it right. Oh, but did I? Because if you go here, it's going to the inside. So if I click on this and move it to the outside, and that's looking better. Let's move this to the outside and see, do we have our 30 feet? And yes, we do. So since we have the 30 feet right there, then you can go ahead and click on this right here. This, and what does this do? This takes that blue dimension and makes it permanent. So I click on this little icon and it gives me the black dimension, and that's exactly what you want right there. So that's there. Okay, now at this point, I can turn off my crop region because it's just getting in the way now. But now that I've got that, I can then do the same thing over here. I can click on this and this, that I have to do the same thing. So I can go here and just go ahead and change it from here to the outside and here to the outside. And when you have that, it's 30 feet all the way around, and you click there to get your dimension. Now, I am a huge believer in making sure your dimensions are where they should be, just so that we don't wind up with issues, you know. And so we have that. Now, let me do one quick thing here. Make sure that our dimensions are as they should be. So that's a 1/8 of an inch aerial. Is that what this is? Oh, that's 3/32. Okay, so change. Okay, what we're going to do right now, we're going to change these. The text is a little bit small in these dimensions. So click on this dimension, and when we click on this dimension, click on those two. We're going to change them right now so that they're 1/8 of an inch aerial. Okay, you have these over here. So change to 1/8 of an inch aerial. And okay, and I'll do this one. Looks like it didn't take that one. So I'll go to 1/8 of an inch, and we'll do that. Now we have that. The text is slightly larger. And going forward, as you're putting in dimensions, you just want to make sure you change this to 1/8 of an inch aerial, just like that. And now what will happen is I'm doing this, I can just go ahead and put these in and do that. And I can go ahead and just do them, and they will be the correct size. So 1/8 inch aerial is the size you want them to be. You guys with me so far? Okay, so we're going to save our work right now. Now, the name of this project, always, I know I'm a stickler for this, but you know, it's you'll thank me later. And the thing is, so when you turn it in, the actual name of it, the Winthrop House Project Upload is right here. And let me just kind of look at this real quickly. Let's see, do I have the name here? No, let's see, do I have it here? I should have the name of it here. Winthrop House Project, Winthrop Printing. Cad For Construction. Okay, looks like I didn't give. All right, just call it. Okay, just name it Winthrop Project dash your last name. That's what we're gonna do. Winthrop Project dash your last name. So go to Save As, File, Save As, Project. And if it won't let you save it as a project, save it as a template. We've been through this before. And we're going to go here and we're going to name it Winthrop Project with your last name. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give mine a date. You're not going to give yours a date. I'm giving mine a date because I've done like 100 of these and I don't want to get them mixed up. And today's the 30th. Can you believe it? Have any of you guys ever heard of something called Devil's Night? That's a no? Huh? Okay. Well, there is an M&M connection, you know, from Detroit. Eminem's a rapper from Detroit, you know that. But there's this thing called Devil's Night, okay, and this is real, okay. And in Detroit, when I was growing up, what happened is Halloween was, you know, is second only to Christmas, and nights that you go out and do stuff and have fun. And so what you would do is you're always going to go out for Halloween, but Devil's Night. Devil's Night is when you go out, and what you would do is you take a bar of soap with you. Okay, real dangerous. Then you'd soap people's windows, you know, soap people's windows, car windows, this kind of thing. You'd bring toilet paper with you. And this is a kind of an ancient thing. Toilet paper was a precious commodity a few years ago. But you take your toilet paper. Do you guys ever do this? Okay, but the thing is, you take your toilet paper and you get a loose spool and you just chuck it. And you chuck it into the trees and this kind of thing, and just kind of come to, you know, and then you just keep on doing it. And so just people that you're irritated with or people that you like, didn't matter. And so you go ahead and you toilet paper houses, you know, it was a lot of fun. If you're good, you'd throw it over a house, you know, and you had toilet paper all over it. So it was fun. So we did this, and then so that's what you would do. And then the next night, you know, you go to the same house as you toilet paper and soaked and ask for candy. So it's a good call, the big unmitigated call, but we would do this. And so here's the thing though. Devil's Night became a thing in Detroit. Everyone knew what it was in the Detroit area. But in Detroit started to have some issues with a bunch of houses that were abandoned, you know. So what happened is houses started to get burned down. You can look this up. Look it up, Devil's Night, Detroit. It's kind of a crazy thing. And so what happened is people started burning houses down. And so Devil's Night in Detroit, like back in the 70s, you would have like hundreds of fires. And the fire department couldn't no way could they go out. So half of the neighborhoods would just be on fire. It's called Devil's Night. Detroit's burning kind of a thing. And that's back now Detroit's in revival now. Detroit, you go downtown in there. new cranes, they're building cool stuff, the lines are winning, you know, it's good stuff. But the thing is, back then, it was really bad news. And so, yeah, Devil's Night, it's a thing. And so October 30th, this would be the night they would be doing it. Now they stopped it. The last few mayors took great pains to go ahead and get like neighborhood patrols out, this kind of thing. So basically, a bunch of people are just walking the streets right now. We're watching you, and you got a bunch of people watching the neighborhood. So it's kind of cool because they ended it. So, but anyway, so Devil's Night kind of thing. But if you want to have something highly entertaining, look up Devil's Night Detroit, and then just look at the videos and stuff. It's or news reports. It's crazy. So that's a real thing. But anyway, moving on to here, and Eminem would have been part of that for sure. He knows all about it. Okay, so now 30 feet by 30 feet. Now I'm slow walking through this, but there's a few things I want to show you here because you get into this right now. There's a bit more happening. So if I go to this next thing, and if I go to this other level one here, now check this out. We take a look at this, and on our plan, if you take a look at your plan, you can see that there's a dimension right here. Now, this is the dimension that I want you to see right now. I've got this highlighted. This says 14 feet, 3¼ and that's the distance from this inside wall to this wall here. Now, one thing about this wall here, it has a wall opening. Okay, there's a wall opening right there. Now, notice what the wall opening is here. This wall opening is here. It's level 1 up to level 2, and the offset is -2 feet at the top. So that's the wall opening. So just remember that. But for right now, just to make this really easy, we're just going to go and we're going to, I think that 14.3¼ that's the halfway distance. But yeah, that's literally halfway. So if we just put in a wall, an interior wall, and just go all the way across, that's all we have to do for right now. So let's do that right now. So we're going to change our wall type. So go to wall architectural, and we're going to change this right now. And we're going to do interior wall 4.5 inches. So we'll do this. And I'm going to go right here. I'm going to find the midpoint. So I grab the midpoint and go from here to here. And I'm just going to do that. So I go ahead and go straight across just like I did right there. Now, when I do that, I have literally divided the space in two. Now, when I click on this, remember we talked about, I should have dimensions that are, I must have missed it. Okay, so I missed it by a hair, but that's okay. We'll fix it. So over here, the actual dimension looks like here is 14.3¼ So let me go ahead and just change that. So this one right here, what's that now?
That's from the inside, you said?
Inside to inside, yeah. So 14 feet, 3.25. That should be good. 14 feet, 3¼ Let me make sure that's right. So I'll go ahead and put that there. And this one should also be there if I've got this one. Yeah, and that's 14 feet, 3¼ So once you get one, you get the other one too. So I'm just putting these dimensions in here just to prove concept. So 14 feet, 3¼ Okay, is this making sense so far? Kind of, sort of.
How do you get your measurements? Like mine always just show up on the left side. Instead of like I know it's not really a big deal, but like
Let's see that, Victor.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look. All right. Let me get control here. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, you can drag them to the other side if you want to. You can drag them over there. So let me show you something here. With these, he's actually asking a great question here. So what you've got over here is if I got these dimensions, I can do one of two things. If I click it right here, it depends on how you drew it as far as where they show up. But what you can do is now you've got these over here right now. So you can work with them over here. You could also do this. If you just put it in dimension, like if I go from here and if I go from here to, try this again. It's not letting me do it. That's interesting. Why is it not letting me do this? All right. Okay, there we go. And kind of hard to see this over the connection. We'll go ahead and do that. Okay, there's 14 feet, 3¼ Now I just did that right here. When I did that, and let me show you something kind of cool here. If I click on this over here, did that change? Yeah, see that right there? That turned into a temporary dimension on this side. You see that? So I made this a permanent dimension. When you click on this, it's just like this. So I go to that, and I click on this, and it, okay, try this again. I click on that, and now this is a. I can change that now. So let's say if I want to make it 16 feet, you do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So you can put them on the other side, but however you drew it, that's typically what's going to happen, and where you pick is going to determine whether it shows up on one side or the other. So you'll see this as goes along. You probably picked that wall first, or somehow it favored it as we're going through it. But good question. Good question. Okay, so now let's go over here. What we did now is we should now all have this right here. Now, what's that? What? Oh yeah, to turn them black, what you do is so yes, okay, so if I'm over here and I did this right here, if I click on this and let's say, okay, let me just do this real quickly. So let's say I put in a dimension right here. I go from here to here, and if I go like this, that is black by default, right? Though it's blue right now. But if I press my escape key to let go of it, that is there. Now, that is a permanent dimension right there. But if I click on the text, or actually, if I click on this right here and click on that, then it becomes a temporary dimension, which you can actually do. So you can actually go back and forth. This tool up here is it's a dimension, but you can turn a dimension into a temporary dimension, which is something kind of cool you can do now. You didn't used to be able to do that. Did that make sense, Mike? Or no? Okay, so to turn it into a temporary dimension, like right here, I just put this dimension right here. So I measured, so if I click on this right here, this right here is now ready to be turned into a temporary dimension. If I just click on this, the actual text here. So it does that. And then I can go ahead and make it 16. And it behaves like a temporary dimension, just like that.
So don't click on dimension itself, click on the wall first.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then if it's not giving you, and you can move your temporary dimensions around too. You can move them from side to side as you need to. So yeah, they're very flexible. So okay, so we have that. Now, here's the big thing now. Let's take a look at this bit. So I talked about this right now. Now take a look at what you have right here. This right here says 12 feet and 4 inches right there, 12 feet 4. Now this 12 feet 4 is well, I don't think I put the dimension here, but I think I want to say that's 2 feet off this edge. Let me find out. Here to here, 1 foot 10. So this is 1 foot 10. So this 12 foot 4 opening is 1 foot 10 off of this size right here. So what we're going to do is we'll go over 1 foot 10 and we'll put in a wall opening. So we can place it after the fact, but we'll go here and we'll just kind of get it basically placed and then we'll get it there. So what we'll do is we go to the architecture tab here. And what we do is over here, this is your wall opening. So you go over here, wall opening's way over here, so click on it. And the first thing it says is select a wall to create a rectangular opening. This is the wall. And then we're just going to go ahead and just going to draw a rectangle. Oh, I made a little tiny one. I let go of it too quickly. But if I click on that, I can drag it. Okay. So you can drag these any way you want. So I can push this back in this direction until I get to 1 foot 10. And if that's too hard, I can just go ahead and make it 1 space 10 like that. And then I can make this 12 foot 4 like that. Oop, and it kind of shoved it over, but yeah, I have to do it. Okay, so I'll leave this at, well, that's okay. That's a 1 foot 10. I'm just going to pull this over till it's 12 foot 4. You can do it that way. A couple different ways you can make this work. And as you zoom in or out, it's going to allow you to do this. But once you put that in, you now have your wall in that looks like that. So again, over here, it's 1 foot 10 on this side, and it's 12 foot 4. And we'll put the other walls in a minute. But that's how we go ahead and start this right here. Now, once you've got your wall opening in, or basically placed, let's take a look at it with a camera. So we go up here to our camera view. This is our default 3D view, and go to camera, and we'll take a look at this just to see what it looks like. And what it's going to look like is like that, which is what we talked about before, okay? Remember we talked about tripping over it and stuff? I did that because I knew this was going to do this to you, because this is the default here. So if you take a look at this, and we go to realistic right there, it looks like that. Now that's bogus, okay? So what you have to do here is you have to take the wall opening and you have to, edit it. So we go to the wall opening, and what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to change this, the base offset, which is right here. Base offset right here changes to be 0. So we'll make that 0. And that'll put it right on the floor there. And then the actual, the top offset, let's make that 7 feet. Make it 7 feet. Then when you do that, there's your proper wall opening, just like that. And that's how you make those. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Save your work. Save your work. Okay, so that is how we go ahead and make that happen. Now, okay, now we're going to do one more thing here because we can. Now, this vertical wall right here. This is 16 feet 4 off of this other wall, 16 feet 4. So it's right here. And you could just run it, about halfway through so it overlaps this one, but it goes past this wall by 4 feet. So we'll deal with that. So it's 16 foot 4. And so let's go ahead and let's put that in now. So we're going to put another wall over here, and we'll go to wall again. Same wall's ready. So I'm just going to go over here, see if I can get 16 foot 4 here. Getting close, aren't we? Looks like it's kind of running out of space. So I'll just go over here. I'll pick a point here and go straight up. And I'll stop right around like that. Now, this actually needs to be 16 foot 4. And right now, mine's 15 foot 5. So I'm going to make that 16 foot 4. And when I do that, it shoves it over. And then this, I need to make sure that it is actually extending the proper distance. So I have to measure that. 4 feet right there. And again, I'm always measuring to the edges, never to the center lines.
How can you get the 4-foot measurement?
The way I did it, which is probably the easiest way to do it in this case, is if you just go ahead and grab this bit of the wall. Well, first of all, put a dimension on here. Put a dimension right there, measure it, and it's going to be wrong. For instance, mine was like this. It looked like that, and it's 2 foot 7. So once I had the dimension, I just click on here and just pull it up. And just kind of go up a little bit. Now it's 3 foot 5. I zoom a little further. And now it's 3 foot 8. And you can do it a couple other ways too, just using your temporary dimensions. I'm just showing you one way to do it that's kind of easy to do it. And that's now 4 foot and a half. See if I can get that now. I had it, boy. Now I'm in trouble. Now I did it. Now it's 4 feet. So you can do it that way, or you could use your temporary dimensions and do that as well. But that's 4 feet, and that is how you make that happen.
I'm not getting the temporary dimensions for the.
Try it again. And at this point, I think what I'm going to do now is, yeah, because a lot of this right here, these things right here, these are walls that are kind of like partially in place right there, but all the dimensions are right there on the sheet. So what I'm going to let you guys do now is just start to work with that a little bit, because everything you need is right here. You just got to be careful as far as where the dimensions go. So let's do this right now. Let's save your work, and we'll stop worrying about this right now. We'll stop worrying about these inside walls. I'll let you guys get to that later. I showed you enough about that. Part of this is to make you guys kind of suffer through that. But right now, we're going to move to the next thing. So save your work, and don't worry about the inside walls. You can work on that later. But what I want to show you, I want to get the garage in place now. So to get the garage in place, let's turn to sheet A101G. So turn to that sheet. In A101G, as you take a look at this one right now, it looks like this. Okay, so what you have is a 3 foot offset from the front of the structure to the front of this wall here. It's 3 feet there. Then it's 23 feet out to the outside, 24 feet down, and then it goes right back. So it's the 3 feet is what we're after. So watch this now. So to do this, I have to go with my wall again. I have to change my wall type, because right now I'm using the same interior wall. I want to do that. So I want to go to brick exterior wall. So I'm going to go here to brick exterior wall. So now when I do this, I'm going to go out here, and I want to go down here, and I want to bring it down 3, if I can do this. Can I do 3 feet? Well, let's just do this, because it's giving the inside, which is okay. I'm just going to go ahead and get it approximate here, and then I'll kind of get it later. And I'm going to go over here, and this direction out here is going to be 23 feet. And so 23. And then I go over here 24. And then I go over back to here. I just touch this wall. Now at that point, I need to adjust it as I need to kind of get it to go in a proper position. So right here, my temporary dimensions here. So I want to change that. And I got pretty close. So it needs to be 3 feet. So I just go ahead and change that to 3 right there. And the temporary dimension gives me that. And then I can make that permanent just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in, we'll go here. And okay, that's giving me this 23 feet. And I want to go to the outside there. There to there. All right. And I want to make that 24. All right, and that's 24 now. And so I'm gonna make that permanent. And I'm gonna drag that over to here. That's 24 feet.
So you put down 3 feet, you put down the exterior wall.
Mm-hmm.
You click on
Yep. And you should be able to adjust it just like I did there.
dimension text box pops up.
Okay, press your escape key. And try clicking on the wall first of all. And do you see a temporary dimension? Okay, so this is what you want to do here. If you're not seeing a temporary dimension, this is how I do it. Okay, so right now I'm not seeing a temporary dimension. So this is how I do it. I go here and I put in a dimension where I want it to be. And okay, I'll just go ahead and drop this right there like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to click on that. And then when you click on the text of the item, it gives you this temporary dimension. And I can make this 2 like that. And that is how that works right there. I do it so quickly, I don't even think about it, but those are the basic steps right there. So try it again, and it will work. It will. May take a little bit of trial and terror, as we say, but you'll get there. And then when you're done, it should be nice and clean, just like your sheet. You should see a 23 feet, 24 feet for your exterior in either dimension. And as you're doing this, take a look at it in 3D and make sure it looks like this. Because we have to do some other things to this to make it all work out. That working now, Mike?
Yeah, I'm just trying.
Okay. Yeah, he's got.
Garage door is just in the middle of the wall.
It's totally centered. Now, before we go any further, let me show you one thing here that's actually a little bit of it's a sneaky little thing here, but let's take a look at this here. So I'll go over here, and you're going to notice on this one right here, notice that right here, the actual garage is actually a foot lower than the other one right here. So it's actually down 1 foot lower, which is pretty much how it works, because that way you just drive up into the garage, but you don't drive up into your house. You step up in your house, you drive into the garage. So this is going to be 1 foot lower. So it's actually going to be essentially at grade. So to do this, we're going to go back over here to level 1, to our level 1. And when I do this, I'm going to take a look at it in 3D. And you have this right here. So if I go to here and if I click on this wall, what I want to do is I want to make it go down the base offset. I want to make it go -1 like that. And that brings that wall down -1. And I'll do that to this one and this one too. Make this one -1. You can do all these at the same time too. I talked about using your tab key and doing that. And I'm going to go -1 here as well. Let's go -1 there. And that lowers that. Now, once we've done that, it's just lowered those, okay? And it's lowered them right there. And these are still connected, even if they don't look like it. But if you take a look at that, that actually goes down, and that is how that works. The other question that came up is the garage door. Now, the garage door, it says it's, what's the number there? Is that number, that 3 or 5? Well, I'll take a look back here. But on my, then I go back to my schedule. I go back to my door schedule, and the door schedule right here is overhead sectional garage door. It says 15 feet, 10 3/4. And so that's the one. So it's 15 feet, 10 3/4 is the size. So what I'll do is I'll go to door, and I'll find my garage door. Should be in here. This is, I think there's just one in here. So I'll go to my overhead sectional, and I'm just going to get it to give me set an 11-foot 2 3/4 is exactly, it finds the center place. So I'll click it right there. And then what I have to do is I have to change the sill height of it. So the sill height of it has to be down -1 foot, so it actually shows up. And that's the thing. And that's getting into your levels. Okay. So getting in your levels, you'll see that you got to make it go down here. So I brought this down here. Then I also brought my garage door down.
It's supposed to be a -11 inches.
-1 foot. So right here, this is -1. This is -1 foot. And all these walls are. And then this has to be down -1 foot as well. And make sure you save your work. Okay. All right. All right. All right. And just make sure your dimensions are accurate before you proceed. Just make sure they're there. It's going to take a little bit of messing around, but you'll get there. What's that? The what does?
It still has to come down.
The back door does too. Back door has to be down 1 foot as well. All right. I'm gonna let you guys get into this now. I'm gonna let you guys start to work on this. We got 15 minutes. I'm gonna let you guys just get as far as you can, and we'll be hitting this on next Tuesday and Thursday. And we're just gonna start to build this. But you got enough to work with right now. If you want to put in your floors, that is actually our just regular. That's a regular wood floor that you see there. And what I would do for the for the first floor, for the interior living space, use your wood floor there and go inside to inside. Don't go to the exterior because it'll show up out there. And I'll give you guys I'll give you guys the next 15 minutes to work on that. It's like 12 minutes now. So go ahead and work on that. All right.
You said do inside of the brick.
Well, and the reason why, let me show you why. Because if you don't do it inside to inside, it's just it's going to show up. It's going to show up on the brick. So if I'm here and if I put in my floor, I'll just show you what happens. So if I go to floor and I use this, and if I go to my wood joist floor, and if I were to go ahead and just go to the let me go to the outside rather. Let me try that again. So I'm going to the outside. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to pick the outside of this wall. And I'm going, actually, it's just going to the inside. So let me go to the try this. Let's go to the outside.
Yeah, put it in at -4 offset. Just change it back to 0 because it's like it's down.
Yeah, it may be, and so it's possible something got stuck there. Okay, so I'm going to save my not that one. Not that one, leave that alone. And then I go back to where I was. Let's see here. So I was here. Yeah, that's just a little error. So I'll go there. Somehow they got changed. So the height offset should be just 0 for that. So the floor, go ahead and paste it right there. But it shows this one actually you don't want it to, well, that one, yeah, you don't want it to do that. You actually want to go to the inside because you want your concrete wall underneath to come up to that right there. So that is not how we want to do that. Also, it's the wrong kind of floor. I changed it right there. So I want that to be wood. So I want that to be wood, but the wood, you don't want that poking out and showing that way. So yes, if you're here on level 1 and you have this, you can then just edit the boundary and then you can just grab it and pull it in, or you can just redo it since it's only 4 lines. So that will just save you a little bit of editing later. And fortunately, since nothing's actually being built on that, it's not difficult to edit it. All right, yeah, so that's what it's going to look like when you get to that point right there, which is totally fine. And then your basement wall is going to come up and it's going to just go around there and go right up to the other one. So that's what's going to happen there. Yeah, that's right.
For the garage floor, are we going outside to outside?
Yes, the garage floor should be outside to outside. Very good. That's exactly what you want to do. And that's going to be obviously a concrete floor, or I think it's just called a
Generic 12-inch.
yeah, the generic 12-inch is what I gave you guys for that. So that one you would just go ahead and just go outside to outside, just because, and you think in terms of like, okay, what would make sense here? And a lot of it is just kind of logical. And then just keep on looking at it in 3D and make sure it's kind of coming together the way it should.
And do you want all of these dimension lines on the first floor in there?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the thing is, I actually would, because you can always turn them off, but I want you to have them in there to prove that you guys got these dimensions, okay? So yeah, go ahead and put them in there. It'll help you. So as you're getting these things in place, I would put your dimensions on them and, just so you got it right. Okay, you guys got 9 minutes, so just keep you paced here. Take a look at the schedule. Okay, it's 7:47, so why don't you guys wrap it up? And we will get back at this on Tuesday, and that'll be it. So nice start. And I'll be giving you instructions we need to, and kind of working with this as we go along here. But I will be letting you guys, cutting you guys a little more slack and letting you work with it, kind of figuring this out, showing you basic concepts, and letting you guys kind of work that all out. So that is where we're going, and we will. So we'll go ahead and pick this up next Tuesday. So if anyone's going to be taking kids out trick or treating, go out themselves, have a great time tomorrow, and yeah.
You going out with the grandkids?
No, actually, I'm not. There actually has something going on right there. They're actually going to be going out in their neighborhood. I don't know what they're gonna be going out for. They're all pretty young still, but yeah. But yeah, no, they didn't really talk about that too much. I don't know how big of a deal they're gonna make out of it. They're a little bit ambivalent about Halloween, but they're gonna be going to sugar trick or treat, so we'll see.
I can show up. I'm good.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a good one.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Hey,
We just take a quick break.
sure.
I think I told you this, but next Thursday, I'm not gonna be here.
Yeah, shoot me an email.
Yeah, I can.
Yep, be good. That way I have it documented. Okay, take a look. What's going on?
And then get rid of the 16 measurement.
You can't. Oh yeah. Okay, let me show you a trick here. Okay, pressure escape key. Okay, hover your cursor over the 15-foot dimension. Hover your cursor right over the text of it. Press your tab key. Now click on it, and then press your delete key.
But I'm losing another one, which I went to.
Looks like you locked it. Okay. Okay, just put. Did you do the dimensions all together?
No,
Click,
I
click,
just,
click.
so it gives them automatically, but I'm trying to just keep this one and get rid of the other.
Yeah, unlock it. Unlock it. Okay, and then okay, let's do what I showed you before. Hover your cursor hover your cursor over the number 15 and press your tab key.
That's not good.
Have a good night.
Oh, yeah.
And then click on the dimension. Now press your delete key.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it back.
Okay. Then just try to put another dimension over the other side then. Just go to your dimension tool.
Yeah.
And you go from there, you go to the outside. You can pull it up and click.
Thank you.
There you go. Yep. All right. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta kind of tweak it. We'll see you, Colin.
See ya.
Yep.
Have a good weekend.
Yep. You too. All right. What are you studying, Arnold?
Construction technology.
Very good. You enjoying it?
Yeah, it's,
Pretty interested?
yeah, it's not bad.
All right. Doing okay there, Bryson?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.
Good night.
Yeah, have a good night.
No.